Maybe you guys could just really tell me with finality and certainty what this is about. I just feel like I read a bunch of fan theories and jumped into this video, and it's still thunderstorming outside. Well, just a perfect day for this song. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Low End University. Full disclosure, this is take 2 of trying this video. I had set up all this suspense in the previous video saying I'm doing a song called The Exhumation of Virginia Madison during this like gnarly thunderstorm coming in, and the power went out. It's been a very long time since that's happened, but the files don't save. Whatever, I got to start the whole thing over. So I'm going to go into my spiel before, which was saying that this is kind of like a death metal song title, and it reminded me of that because just a few weeks ago here on the channel, I had done the death metal band Cryptopsy, and I'm looking at my spreadsheet getting ready for today's video, and I'm like, that could be a Cryptopsy song title. Very non-punk rock-like, and maybe that just means I'm green to punk rock, but I thought it was a very intriguing song title with some sort of story behind it. But the track itself is from Strung Out's third studio album, Twisted by Design, released in 1998. I don't know who Virginia Madison is. I had to do some digging and see what this was all about. But the more I read about the song's meaning, I couldn't really find anything. It's like the less I knew about it. There's so many speculations online, personal interpretations, theories about certain things Jason Cruz has said in live shows about the song before it was performed. I have no idea if Virginia Madison is or was even a real person. Others suggest it's based on a dream Jason had after a night of heavy drinking where he murdered his girlfriend, felt intense remorse, and longed to be buried next to her to make all the guilt go away. And then things all the way down to just being an analogous story using exhumation as a metaphor to express the longing need to reconnect with the loved one who has passed on. Nice lighthearted stuff here. Anyway, before this turns into a true crime YouTube episode, I have to thank our patrons who voted this song in first place last month. Shout out to Chris, Zach, and Anna G over there for requesting this song. But without further ado, here's take 2. I planned that rhyme. The Exhumation of Virginia Madison from Strung Out. Okay. I heard this intro bit. Okay, I don't remember what I said, so I'm just going to go right into it. I got to about the first chorus, heard this part, and I remarked that I had read the lyrics beforehand. I know I said I was going to do that more. I've just forgotten, but with a song title like this, I had to really dig deep into that. But it starts out with, I've buried my sweet Virginia Madison. The song kind of starts off with this open-ended question about, why is this person being buried? What happened? And, you know, that's where all the speculations I've read start stemming and branching out from each other. Really cool ambiguity here, considering the person may not even be real, or it could all just be, again, a vehicle for to express a different type of feeling. But musically, I think one of the first things I said 2 hours ago when this happened was the tonality of the chords and the riffs are not at all what I expected. I don't know what I expected, but I feel like Strung Out as a band, I would like a lot more if I had heard more. I think this is the only the third or fourth song I've heard from the band. Haven't done any full albums yet, so this exploration is going to be slow and steady. But some crazy fast riffing. Some of those almost reminds me of like the speed of some of those NoFX riffs that are super fast. Strung Out just has a much heavier presentation. Just the tones are thicker, a little bit more metal. I like that. Let's go back right here. Here in C major. Sweet Virginia Madison. Okay, this is about where I remember the power going out. And I think I was about to say, this has a bit of a lagwagon vocal phrasing to it. Even the timbre of the vocals. And I know I don't want to say I'm bad about this, but I'm always comparing bands to other bands. That's just my way of connecting the dots. It's really helpful. It's almost, I'm just like saying it for myself to say what it reminds me of. I really like Lagwagon, so I know I'm going to like Strung Out the more I get into their body of work. But I hear a lot of bass movement, and I failed to mention this in the intro, but this was the last album to feature bassist Jim Cherry. And if I think back to my first time hearing this band with their track Firecracker, I remember really liking his parts. I remember them being pretty chordal and unusual and really adding a thick layer to the band's song. And I believe he died fairly young due to a heart condition. Good to hear some of Jim's work again, and maybe we'll hear this whole album on Patreon, who knows? But the bass is moving. It's outlining a lot of the busyness of the riffs. It gives it a really energetic thing, especially under the vocals, which seem to be less rhythmic than some of the riffs. So cool setup. I'm going to go back to about right here. Yeah. I mean, just grooving down there. I mean, I know it's a metal presentation, but it kind of has this bouncy grooviness. It pulls your attention away from the lyrics a little bit. This is the kind of style I'm used to. A lot going on, a lot of riffing. Damn, that's fast. Man, I love the riffing. The last Strung Out song I did was Analog. That was back in January, and I think my first impression of that was like, this sounds nothing like the last song. I was unsure it was even the same band at first. I wasn't sure if I got it right. They were a lot heavier than I knew they could be. So this is kind of leaning into that direction of just kind of brutal riffing under melodic singing. I mean, I like a lot of bands like that outside of the punk world, so this is going to be a good band. I just got to hear more of it. Those are some fast kind of tremolo, like Trivium. You know, that kind of stuff I grew up on. I love it. Slayer, Metallica, just fast stuff. Right here. You can't even say it that fast. What is that little fill there? Nice little unison there with the bass and guitar part. Like a little pinch harmonic. That little pinch harmonic, for some reason, gave me like an early Coheed and Cambria vibe. They used to throw those in the most interesting places rhythmically, but it was just a nice little sparkle to add on top of the riff. Okay, I've done almost 300 videos, and you've never seen an amp actually in the camera shot here. And I don't want to detour too much. We'll get into this later, but this is my new GK800 Legacy. I am so happy to be working with Gailey and Kruger amps once again. They were my first amp endorsement, oh man, over 10 years ago, and I'm back working with them, and I'm excited to actually just have an amp on screen to make EQ adjustments, and you'd be able to see it, because most of the time I'm having to click things down here that you can't see and talk you through it, and it just gets boring, or maybe down here on my bass. But now we can talk about, you know, in real time, how I might be adjusting a tone. I think my tone is a bit too trebly, actually, for this song, so, I mean, I could just pull the treble back a little bit. Excited to work this in. Okay, not even a sponsored segment. I just forgot I even said anything about it. Okay, let's go back to here. Yeah, that's kind of like Coheed-ish, isn't it? Dig that. Really interesting guitar solos here. In a lot of punk bands, you know, the guitar solos come and go, and I just have a very high standard for guitar solos. You know, say what you will about progressive metal and all that stuff, but I listened to a lot of the best guitar players in the world coming from that more progressive thing. So I think when I hear solos in a lot of these punk bands, they're effective, they're good. Some I like more than others, but I always remember Strung Out just having some really nice lead work. And that's reflected here. I actually like how this lead section starts off like a solo, but it's very chordal and double stoppish. It's a really thick opening. I'm going to go back to that section here and just love the way it contributes to the song's energy. Right here. A little further. This. It's almost like a harmonized melody, but it's a guitar lead. Very tasty. Now we're into like normal solo. Man, there was something really catchy about that. Just those rhythms and the snare drum lining up, just bop, 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 bop. Something really intense about it. Dig that. Go into that again. It just made me play along. Damn, the song is so anthemic here. We're almost done. The vocals have a bit more despair in them. I felt like they started off just lower in terms of dynamics. They've had room to grow in this way. I feel the despair at the end here. There's like some anguish there. Right there. You'll always wait for me. You know, the figurative protagonist here wants to join Virginia Madison. Maybe you guys could just really tell me with finality and certainty what this is about. I just feel like I read a bunch of fan theories and jumped into this video. But it provided me with a lot of great imagery and illustration of the concept in the song. And it's still thunderstorming outside. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but well, just a perfect day for this song. Headed to the place where I buried her, by Virginia Madison. Ended kind of happy. All right. Well, I hate that this video had to be put together in kind of a jumbled way. I don't even know if all the cameras are in focus and everything's going. I hope so. I jumped into this pretty quickly to finish it before the thunderstorm started getting bad again. But you have to just laugh this kind of stuff off, right? That's life. And the bad weather was sort of a fun backdrop for this episode. But the Exhumation of Virginia Madison. Every time I read the name Strung Out, comes up a lot in the comments. Highly requested band. I always look at it and I go, I know I'm going to love this band way more than I do now. I just need to hear more. That's the case with a lot of other bands. They have really tasty guitar arrangements. They are like a heavier Lagwagon to me, whereas Lagwagon is more like, in my mind, it's kind of like the heaviness of like Guns N' Roses. Like they were a heavy band, but it was more hard rock. I feel like Strung Out are more like the Metallica of that side of things, where both bands can coexist in the same sentence stylistically, but one's just a bit heavier than the other. I like heavy music, so I know I'm going to like Strung Out. Twisted by Design is going up on the full album poll next month. I'm just going to say it now because I really got to hear more from these guys. And if you'd like to come vote on that and be a part of it and see all the full album reactions we've done so far, come find us at patreon.com/LoneUniversity. I think we've done 24, 25 albums, large community of amazing people over there. Please come hang out with us, and I'd love to have you. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you like the video, you're subscribed. I love you all. We made it through take 2. We'll see you in the next one.